got that many packets out. Okay. Any questions about that part, everything I've done so far?
Is that form on your?
That side 2 of that, no, that's just not off there yet, but I can put that on there. Because I just created that.
To the monthly.
Well, no, the bottom part of it's the
The
same.
bottom part.
Yeah, but I do put the organization name in it and my website in it, so you can leave my website in there, my phone number. You're welcome to, and pass that out to all your people. I'm cool with that.
Again?
Yeah, as long as I put the right one on the site when I post it, it'll be cool. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Leslie, what did I ask you to talk about for the fundraisers?
Whatever.
Okay. So you did one recently.
Yeah, I've done one a couple times. I did the same one. It's a hockey team. It's the Pee Wee hockey team out of Trouy. And
Heather would like you to stand up here.
Oh, she's videotaping you.
All right. So I do, this is my repeat one. It's a hockey team out of Trouy. Really nice people because they're the Pee Wee kids. And that's another reason why I really like to give part of my commission, because the little kids need their ice time, and it kind of helps them. When I tell them that, then they're going to push a little bit harder too to get more. With them, I do get the whole list of the names, because sometimes there's only 16 kids, so I put their names on my labels for them, because you know they're little kids too. The parents are pretty good about it. But I also started this last year. I made a strip on a piece of paper. I made all these ones so I could just cut them easy, and I put the online ordering information, and I put about 10 of them in each packet. Now I did that because it's a smaller group. What she does is maybe better, but this way, since they only have one catalog and you don't have to make all these full sheets, you've got the strips to hand out. I said, hand it to anybody who's online who wanted a catalog, but you couldn't give them the only one you have. They can go online, do the catalog, and order on there. I got a lot of online orders because of that. So that made a difference too. Repeat, because they do pretty good. I mean, I end up giving them anywhere from, I think, $250 to $350 out of my commission. So their ice time gets up to be, you know, $600, $700, $800, which is a big chunk of money for that little team, you know. So, and I don't help them sort or anything because it's a smaller group, and the parents are very responsible. So I don't worry about that size of a group. Question?
I was talking to you, and you had actually mentioned that you do donate your commission, but you have them meet a sales requirement beforehand.
Right. Yeah, and we discussed that a little bit before.
You weren't.
Yeah, and this time I did because I've done another fundraiser before too, and it's like, okay, why am I going to give them 10% if they're only going to work so hard? You know, I want them to work harder because it's not just more to benefit me, but it benefits them, especially if I'm giving them more money too. And I tell them why I'm giving them money, because I care about your team and I want them to make extra money, and I care about the little kids or whatever the organization is. But yeah, so I went up to this year because I know that they can do 3,000 plus. So I said over 2,000 I will give you 10%. Before that it's 5%. And I put that on that initial letter too. And I've got Marianne's letter that I do too, and you just tweak it for each one and whatnot, but it seems pretty informative. And this time too, I said make sure that you keep, because the first year she gave me everything like in one envelope, and I went no, because we do prizes. You're probably going to go through that. If you offer an incentive for the kids, I offer just one $25 gift card, you know, generic gift card for the kid who has the most sales. Well, no, for the kid, they get their name in the drawing for every $200 they sell or something like that each time. So if somebody sells $400, they get 2 chances in the drawing. So I make up little slips and I do that. But and invariably it's the lady who organizes it whose kid usually wins, because their kids usually sell the most. But yeah, that's about it. You know, she's my repeat one. I'm starting to branch out a little bit more and send some flyers to the schools and whatnot. But
how'd you get it to begin with?
Booth.
Oh,
she was a booth contact at the state fair.
Wow.
2 years ago. Yeah. So booths are very important to follow up on. Pay attention to those little check boxes. And even if they don't check those boxes, you ask them when you call them about every little thing. You know, we do have gift certificates, fundraisers. Do you know any teams like that? So, you know, I have several people at shows that are interested, but they don't always. You know, they say, "Oh yeah, my kid," but then the kid's off the team. You know, so anyway, but
Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, so, do you have questions about how to get fundraisers, where to get them, or how to run them for the catalog show style? Those are the things we've talked about so far.
Do you do the other style, the live
Yes,
style?
yeah,
Okay.
I'll hit on that in a minute.
Oh,
Yeah.
when you get a show, when you book a fundraiser, do you do a presentation in front of the whole club and the kids, or do you just tell the chair or whoever's and they do it?
I've done it both ways. So the ones that are repeat, like the schools, I don't typically do a presentation in front of them. Although I did at Colony High School when I did that one, she had me come in and talk to her leadership class. So I came in and gave a presentation about it, talked to them about how it works and how they can raise money. Part of their grade was dependent on selling a certain amount. So we had a very high level of participation in that class. If they don't do that, the level of participation, and I think that's a little gray area there.
Economics, baby, math.
Yeah.
Well, it's a leadership
But
class.
it's a leadership class,
Oh,
and
yeah.
one of the goals of the leadership class is to raise X number of dollars. They set that goal at the beginning for whatever they have chosen as their
Fundraiser.
charity.
Mhm.
And so their goal was to raise $10,000, and they did multiple fundraisers. And so on this particular one, they had set a goal of I think $500. They raised over $1,000. You know, is what they got for it. So anything they did extra was great because the family just got more money for it. Man, I keep losing my train of thought. I'm so Heather today.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's a
Okay.
catching disease.
I guess so.
Did I answer your question? Okay. That's good because I don't remember what the question was or what the answer was.
Live.
Live. Oh, do I present in front? Yeah. And so sometimes I don't present to them. Sometimes I do. It's kind of, if it's a new one, and I just ask a lot of questions about what they want to do, why do they want to raise the funds, and then I will offer the presentation. They don't always accept that, and I don't push it. But depending on what the organization is, if I think it's going to make a really big impact, you've got a sports team, and if they're having a parent meeting for something, I would love to go and do a presentation there, because if you just send home these with a bunch of hockey players, high school hockey players, you know where that's going? The closest trash can, or it's going to be in the bottom of their sweaty, stinky bag. It's not going to come out of there. So if you have the opportunity to do a presentation, take it. But not everybody gives you that opportunity, and I'm not going to turn down a fundraiser because they're not going to let me talk to their people. I'll take it. Okay, so that's the catalog show style. And then we also do the cooking show style. They are typically not anywhere close to $12,000. I've never had one that big. I've had, like the cooking show style where there's, the room has about this many people in it, a typical cooking show. And they generally order more at a fundraiser show. The people-to-people ones have been fun to do because I will have the kid do a presentation. And I got that idea because the first one that was doing it for me, the parent said, I want her to do a presentation. I want her to talk to all of the friends that are there and explain to them why she needs this money, where she's going, and what she's going to be doing on that trip. I said, oh, great, that's wonderful. So the girl had prepared this nice little poster board. I don't remember which trip she was going off of that. I think it was the Australia one. So she had pictures of Australia and some of the things that they were doing on this trip. And she talked to the group about it, and I would really appreciate it if you would help me raise money for this, and thanks for being here. And it was great because they heard it from her. When I don't have that opportunity, then I usually do my own little spiel about how the funds are given to whatever the organization is. But it's much better if it comes from them. And then I just do a regular cooking show. There's nothing different about it other than the way it's processed in the end and that little presentation. And I'll throw in little tidbits throughout the show if I can think of anything. Sometimes I can think, sometimes I can't. So if something comes to me, I'll throw out that little tidbit, about, while Heather's running around Australia, you can be enjoying your food shop or, whatever. Throw in little things so that they're constantly reminded throughout that this isn't just a cooking show. And Jen isn't getting all this free product for it. This money is going to whatever organization. Yes. Heather.
That's one little side note, because I heard you say enter the show in.
Yeah.
When you enter it into P3, make sure you check that it's a fundraiser, because if you put it as a cooking show first and then go back and go, oops, I forgot it's a fundraiser, that's the only one you can't switch back and forth between. Okay? Like if you did a cooking show and you wanted to switch it to a catalog show or vice versa, you can do that. But once you've entered in orders and you try to switch, it doesn't let you. So then you have to add everything in again.
Another show.
And I did that one time and learned my lesson.
And on that line, there is another way you can do those if you've got say you've got this $1,500 show. If you want to enter it as a cooking show, you can. And then you donate your commission, but you would have to donate more. I mean, at least 15%, so they're getting what they got with Pampered Chef, you know, whatever it is you agreed to. What's that? But you would have to donate that, but then you get a ton of products. And so if you're trying to build your product inventory, that's one way to get some new products for your kitchen or for your demo. I would not do that very many times.
Tell them why. Because a fundraiser, the host only gets one host special, and that's
Right.
it. They don't get the other bonuses.
And if you're donating your commission, I mean, that it's kind of a wash at that point if you need products. Now, I don't need products. If anybody has seen my basement, you know I don't need products. So I have way too many of them. But that is one way to build up your kitchen. You know, it's really up to you. If you want to do a fundraiser for somebody, an individual, Pampered Chef won't write a check to an individual. They'll write it to organizations. And so, like the people ones, they do write it that I have to put on there William Smith, people to people, and he can cash that check.
Oh, yeah.
But when I just had William Smith, they called me and said we can't write a check to an individual.
Right, I had one for it was an adoption fundraiser. They were trying to raise money for an adoption.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just put their last name, adoption fundraiser.
Yeah.
I mean, you just have to
And it works.
call
You just-
something.
Yeah, so you have to be creative with it, but if you want to do it the other way and, you know, get products in exchange for what you're donating, you can do that. And I tell people if I'm going to do it that way, you know, I'll say I'm gonna enter this as a cooking show, and instead of you getting the products as the host, I'm gonna take the products and I'm gonna give you a check. Fair enough? And usually they're cool with that. Yeah.
One of my hosts that I've been doing shows for a long time, she always does an auction for breast cancer, in May, and so she actually ended up getting all the product. Angie, yeah.
Oh,
So she ended up getting all the product,
huge.
and then people would bid on that
Yep,
product.
she
So
does.
she made more money by getting the product and
Yeah.
bidding on it than she did with my donation and Pampered Chef's donation. So, but she was
So that
able
way
to
they do it.
auction that and get
She's an
bids.
excellent
You know,
host.
some people can't do that. So, but she was, I mean, she ended up with thousands of dollars in product that she auctioned off, and we actually kept a tally so that she could compare. And she made, I think it was like $300 to $400 more by auctioning off the product than she would have if I donated my commission and Pampered Chef. So,
Yeah, you want a good
Well,
thing.
and it's interesting, I was talking with one of my co-directors out in Virginia, and what they do is they always turn the show in as a show, cooking show, and donate the 15% commission. You know, she's a director, so she gets an addition, you know, she makes that up, the additional 15% commission. And then she lets the host have the 30% discount.
Yeah.
Or the person who organizes the fundraiser gets the 30% discount.
So that's another way to do it. So, I mean, there are lots of different ways. It's really what do you want to get out of it, and what's going to benefit them. And you can benefit both of you pretty easily. So, and each one of them is different. I handle every fundraiser as a complete different entity from another one. I have that letter, but it's tweaked every time. I have nothing that is the same on every fundraiser. Yeah.
Did you mention the booking benefit for when you do a fundraiser?
No. What do you get for a booking benefit when you do a fundraiser?
Well, you can't, you have the $3